Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, for you, it's all about prioritizing your excitements, always going, how does it make me feel? Because you have a kind of a very logical mind. So you've got a consistent energy in your head, and your ajna means that you're often like, you're very inspired, you have consistent ideas and very creative thoughts. But what that also then tends to happen is that's it. You kind of get stuck here.
Right.
Rather into, making decisions like, well, what does my gut tell me? Because when people say follow your gut, it's not really true for everyone, but it's true for us, for the generators. We are sacral beings. And I'm sure you know what a sacral is, right? I don't need to explain that. So the way we really cultivated energy is from within us. Like some other types, like manifestor, reflector, projector, they get the energy from us, actually, from generators. They need us to recharge, but we cultivated energy from within us, from that sacral center. That's the engine that gives us this ability to go and do anything in our life. We can get up and do the job, but unless we're not motivated, we don't feel excited and lit up by it. It's like you're burning your motor, you're burning your engine, and eventually you're just going to hit the rock bottom. Maybe not even physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that's when everything dries up. So it's becoming, because I'm sure you're also aware, we're moving into this era, we already really moved, where it's all about energy and vibration, right? It's not so much about effort and what we're doing, but our vibration and our, state of energy. And like Nature's Frequencies products are great, if that aligns with you. But at the end of the fact, your priority needs to be like, what excites me the most? And what happens with generators often is we get stuck on this plateau. So you have like a learning curve, where everything going well, you're learning, you're like, maybe, I don't know, you're seeing these opportunities come to you, and then you get stuck. Like you're like, it's crickets, like nothing is happening. So the first thing we tend to do is like, what do I do? Right? If I try this, or if I try that, if I try this, and that's burning your energy. And when your energy burns, it collapses around you. So instead of attracting high caliber clients, you attract, because we always attract, we never repel, and there's an amazing explanation in human design as to exactly how it happens. You, instead of attracting this high vibe clients, paying clients, you attract clients that, can't pay, because that's what you're putting out. So it's really important, as I said, when you're feeling like nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, instead of running around or even sitting and like trying to force things, it's like, what would make me feel good? And it could be even like going for a walk, going for a horse ride, or whatever, whatever that excites you. And I've learned over the time to walk away from things like, if there's no ideas, no inspiration are coming, instead of sitting in the laptop, I'll go for a walk, I'll go for like 2-hour meditation, or whatever, whatever feels the most amazing thing to me right now, because this is the moments that opportunities start knocking on your door. And it's more and more literally getting out of your head and tapping into your body. Like, what would I love? What would I love? What is that feeling? And you will feel, eventually, you can even like test yourself. If your mind starts playing, with you, you can tune into your sacral and ask yourself simple yes and no question. It's very easy for generators to know whether something is right or not. It's a simple yes or no. You can get your friend to do that, or someone else, and just respond like straight away, coming from that connection. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And then also, like with the clients, for example, what I also found is like, are they mirroring you? Where are you holding yourself back? Maybe you want to, let's say, invest in something and you're not. Maybe you want to go for a facial and you're not. Maybe you want to buy something nice or go on holiday, but you're denying yourself that expansion, and they're just mirroring you. Does it make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So always like, see, where am I running that pattern? Right.
Okay.
Because I work with like businesswomen and entrepreneurs, and they're just too scared to even invest in themselves. And they're like, well, I'm not getting career promotion. I'm like, well, but you're not spending money on you. So why should universe send you the clients to spend money on you if you don't even, do that for you? Because we are like the examples, right? Because whatever you project, that's what you get. And if you don't like what you're getting, then first of all, we look within us. And then obviously that energy comes really, really important. So as a generator, we all have our strategy. And the strategy is really here to protect us from going down the wrong opportunities, because, you know, sometimes an opportunity would come to you and you're like, yeah, you know, there's a great opportunity. I think I can make some money, but in the meantime, it's completely not aligned, or, you know, you chase down the wrong rabbit holes. So strategy here is to make sure you stay on track. And for generators is to respond. It's not, we're never really here to initiate. And if once again, I'll go back to nature's frequency, like I only jumped on one sales call, but they're saying to, you know, message these people, message everybody in your phone book and on the Facebook. And that's not for us. We actually literally burn out. I had 3 burnouts because of that. I didn't follow the strategy, but mine was still very similar. And the only people who are really here to initiate are manifestors. And there's like 7% of them. For the rest of us, the opportunities come to us, and the best really projects and clients are in response to something, you know, and it doesn't have to be like us waiting for something like a big event, you know, to show up. You can be like thinking, right, I want to offer this program. And just because you think it's a good idea, it doesn't mean you've got to act on it. So you almost then want to wait for something external to show up, you know, maybe like a friend calls you, or you see something on Instagram, or something, you know, shows up in your email that lets you know that is the right really thoughts. And then you check with your sacral, how does it feel? You know, and you always follow the path of excitement. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So yeah, so not to initiate, not to reach out to people. And I mean, you can, I'm not saying, of course, you can do that, but I just know from personal experience and working with generators, it's never the nicest opportunities. They're never the most aligned one. Normally it feels like a hard work. You know?
It feels like there's a lot of resistance in those actions.
Yeah, exactly. And then what we end up doing, we take even more actions, build more resistance, and get more frustrated.
Right.
And yeah, and I mean, I'm actually doing this whole talk tomorrow at the summit, why effort doesn't work and how to stay in a state of alignment.
Actually have it scheduled in for tomorrow. I'm really excited to hear it.
Are you coming?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. And also I'm doing a free prize giving. Maybe you'll win it. It's like an hour session with me, which is like really going in depth into the design.
Awesome.
So yeah. So basically just a couple of pointers. Your best opportunities come in response to something. Prioritize your excitements. And also setting boundaries is so important, you know, because as a generator, people come to us because we've got energy, and it's like, well, you've got energy, you can do this and this and that for me. And like my advice to generators, always just to think to themselves, like, only because I can, it doesn't mean I have to. And really carve out this really, really firm boundaries around you. Because the more no you say, the more energy you have for yourself. You know, because every time you say yes, especially when yes is not your like a hell yes thing, you leak energy. And when you leak energy, you're not vibrating high enough to attract the people that you want to attract into your life.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Resonates. Okay. And also, you know, for so like I teach profiles. So in human design, profile is basically your costume that you wear in this life. It's how you express yourself, how you market, how you present your message, how you connect with the audience, actually who really makes you, you know, because when I look at the different parts of the design, they're influenced by who you're with, by their definition, you know, by the transits, but your profile is constant. And so, for example, a profile can be how we behave and how we act in certain situations, and also how we express and how we learn things. So for you, it's really, really important. You actually got these 2 energies. One is conscious and one is subconscious. So one is you're obviously more aware of, and the other one is like people probably more aware about it, about you, than you are aware of it from yourself, right? So if that makes sense. So you've got this energy of somebody who really needs to learn and dig and research. So you're like a researcher and experimenter, right? And it's really important for you not to get stuck in that research and just like, all right, I've researched this, like, I know I need to experiment now. So there's a kind of a subconscious part of you, maybe you felt it, let me know if that resonates, where you're like, oh fuck, it doesn't work, I've got to do this, oh my god, why the fuck nothing works in my life, and it keeps tweaking and tweaking and tweaking And then it's like, okay, I've tweaked, it now works. Oh my God, it works. Amazing. Now I've got to go back to research, right?
Right. So now we can get to the next level of figuring out what works and what doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
exactly
So
where
you've
I've
got
been
the
for the last
two
few months.
energies. Yeah, yeah. So research is important because it gives you that foundation, but just like don't get stuck on it too much. And then it's all about that embodiment, that experimental process that you need to go through, because you're only here really to share with people what is it that worked for you. I've got it's line 3. I mean, if we go deep into human design, I will tell you what that means, but I also have a line 3 in me. And that's always feels like constant trial and error. Like, it's like, oh my God, when am I going to stop fucking up? And like I put a post out there, and then like I'll tweak it, and like I do so many presentations now, and even if I speak on the same topic, my presentation is never the same, because I'm always adjusting and tweaking and changing. And that's our nature, like for us, like anybody who's running that energy, there is no failure, there's just experimentation. You've got to experiment, because the more you experiment, the more you can literally inspire people, because you're here, you've got a fixed energy, and you're here in your head and your ajna. So like I don't, like I'm a drifter. I can pick an idea from there and from there, and inspiration from there. And before, it used to bother me. It's like, why is my brain broken? Why can't I have a consistent, solid thoughts of mine? But now I understand that. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. I can pick something from Hannah. I can pick something from someone else, mold them, shape them. And then like, boom, I create something of my own, right? Well, for you, it's different. You've got consistent like ideas and streams and inspirations. But important thing to understand that even with all of the thoughts that running through your minds, they're not here to be your authority. They're not here to make decisions. They're here to inspire you. You can be an authority for someone else, to inspire them, but they're not here to make your decisions. Your mind is never your authority. And, I think that's like the biggest takeaway you can probably take from this, that
That's
you're
really
not
awesome.
need to use your thoughts as, to make decisions with. For you, you're purely gut driven, same as me, just pure gut, nothing else. And, the more you kind of practice that, the easier it becomes. It's like now I almost get on a call with someone, or somebody like sends me an opportunity, and my gut goes, no. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, even though my head thinks, oh, this could be really interesting, could lead somewhere, my gut just goes, no. And I'm like, God, please, can you say yes? And goes, no.
No. Yeah, I've had a few of those recently. And especially since I'm starting over with all of my social media, I'm really finding those people that are coming back from my previous accounts that I'm just going, sorry, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
Exactly. And no is probably the best thing you can do, the best thing, because I mean, as I said, we have to preserve our energy, like, and I'm going to talk a bit about it tomorrow. That's without energy, you can't, if people focus so much on food, we eat, on exercise, amazing. But once you don't have the energetic alignments, you can put anything into your body. When you're burnt out, you're burnt out. It's
Right.
like there's nothing, you can't make solid decisions.
Wellness isn't just the things we eat and the things we think, it's the things that we do that are either aligned or not with who we are on a soul level.
Exactly, on a soul level, exactly. And how many times do we have this opportunities coming to us? Sorry, my cat is like,
that's okay.
Annika, he knows he's not allowed on a dining room table, but you know what he does? He goes to the fruit bowl in the middle of the table, and he lies on top of the fruit bowl like that. And he knows he's not even allowed on the table. He's just so naughty. It's like,
that's cute.
Annika. Yeah, so I lost my train of thoughts about the alignments. So and then we have this like amazing opportunities come into our lives, whatever it could be. And maybe like to travel to a different country, or to book ourselves to a spa, and you're like, oh my gosh, that would feel so expensive to me right now. And then your mind goes, no, you don't have money, no, you don't have time. And we actually sabotage that calling of our soul, and we let our minds rule our lives. And that's what I see over and over and over again. And then because that already from nature's frequency, from Reiki, that our heart sends that, the electromagnetic waves, right? And so does our brain, but the electromagnetic waves of the heart is like gazillion times stronger. I think you can measure like a foot with your brain, the waves. With the heart, it's up to 3 feet, and that's just with the machine. So
Right.
when we actually let go of the thoughts in our mind and we follow the desire, whether it comes from the gut or the heart, the vibration we send out is just so much more powerful. So even if you like end up booking that spa or taking the trip or booking that course or whatever it is, you are in so much alignment and so much coherence that it's like your mind can just predict the amazing things that can happen to you on the other side. But we get too stuck in our heads.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that just totally told me, yes, go ahead and book a plane ticket to Connecticut next month, because that's what I've been really on the fence with. Like, I know it'll be exciting, it'll be fun, it'll be amazing.
Do it because you don't know. Maybe you're there, maybe you meet this like most amazing freaking client for the rest of your life, or maybe you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't know what's on the other side, because our minds can't predict that. It can always predict what we're going to lose. I'm going to lose 5,000 pounds. I'm going to lose that, but it can't predict what we're going to gain. Only our soul, our guts, only that the path of excitement, that's all that matters.
That just feels so exciting. I'm really excited now, because I'm just going to do it.
Go for it. Well, I'm excited for you. Yeah. So just to recap, your strategy is not to initiate. So whatever marketing courses, I don't know if you've done any, but just like, if they're not even aligned, if you're not getting results, just stop doing what you're doing. And so people like then ask me, how do I grow my business? If I'm here, I wanted to respond, initiate, stay visible, go on podcasts, get yourself out there, collaboration is like, working so amazing now. See who you can team up with. And decisions all come from a sacral, and you can train your sacral, get the yes and no questions. That's a brilliant game. In fact, actually, sacral does not even talk to us in yes and no's. It communicates in sounds, which is like literally that's the language of a sacral. Did you ever used to make those sounds when you were a child, maybe, or younger, like
Yeah, I sure did. I still do sometimes.
That's a generator sound.
Okay.
That's a generator. So literally somebody asks you a question, you go and even get your friend, like, do you want to go? Let me ask you, do you want to go to Connecticut?
There
you go.
I do. Absolutely. That was like the whole thing. I do.
Yeah, that's exciting. It. And then if your mind, because also, so like when it comes to decision making, some people, about 50%, what is called the emotionally defined. So they really need to wait for clarity to make decisions. But for some, the decision is instant. So for you, your decision is in and now. You will know now whether this is right for you or not. Or maybe it's like, maybe it's just not right now, right? But if your gut is like saying, hell yes, that's it. Everything else is going to be your mind's trying to talk you out of this incredible opportunity, no matter how insane it may sound. I mean, my advice, I followed insane opportunities over the last year, and they've never, ever led me down the wrong path. Of course, until this thing kicks in.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to remember to go back to your gut.
It's a journey, I mean, like, this is like basically understanding how the treadmill works, but the actual journey is like using the treadmill.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look more into human design, because this is exciting.
It's incredible. It's incredible, So like when Rick called us on a call a few weeks ago, and my gut went, like I did jump on a call, but I was like, maybe it's still there, maybe I can just do it on the side. And my gut went, no, not for you now. So I know
that's pretty much why I just backed out. And I mean, I wish them all the best. I think it's a fantastic plan. It's just not the right fit for me.
Exactly. Absolutely. And also, as a generator, our energy is best used on one thing only. I'm not saying you can't like multitask at all, but let's say, if you're working on your Reiki, don't have anything else on a side, kind of where it also demands your attention. Maybe like something really small, let's say if you still had your animals, maybe it takes you like a little bit of time, but majority of your energy needs to be channeled into one thing. That's when we're most efficiently using our energy. While let's say for manifesting generators or manifestors, they're like, they work on multiple things, right? If they focus on one thing, they can actually burn out that way.
That's pretty incredible.
It is incredible, isn't it? Understanding how we're designed to use energy. It's like, you know, and then when you start drilling into all the different centers and also how the energy flows between them, because that's really focuses on your core strength, which you can leverage and put it into your marketing message. And that's, you know, because that marketing that's taught by marketers and yeah.
Yeah, it's very not energy focused at all. And most of it just feels sticky.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Do you have any questions?
Millions of them. Like, I want to know more about human design specifically, but okay, so I should really be focused on one thing and more on my gut excitement responses versus what my brain is saying.
Yeah, so your brain will always come up with ideas and inspirations. You know, that's what your strength is. You can actually teach others, you can inspire others. You are like a thought leader. This is your strength, you know. Like, let's say if I had to teach like inspiration and no, I said I don't have consistent ideas. But you've got a very strong, powerful mind, and that's what you're here to do. But your mind can never be your authority. Annika, your mind can't be your authority. It's your guts. Our mind can never be our on authority. You can be authority for me. I can be authority for you, you know. But first, we obviously need to know who we are and how we operate correctly. Because I think our success in business comes from making correct decisions, knowing how to leverage our strength, and staying in alignment to our purpose. And the further we go on this journey of self-discovery, of evolving our consciousness, and even if you make a little bit step to the left, to the right, the universe like almost slaps you, you know, to get back into that alignment. And that slap is freaking painful.
It is every single time. It's like, okay, hello, thanks for the brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's painful. So that's why, and that's the tool to really, I mean, you know, Hannah, I've tried freaking everything. I've been on this journey for years, even before Nature's Frequencies. And I was like, and then when I discovered it, that's when I had a breakdown, not a breakdown, not a nervous breakdown, burnout, rather. It felt like a breakdown. Right. I was like, shit, that's been the missing piece of the puzzle my whole life. Honestly, I just like went all in.
That's exciting. I'm so glad that you found it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Recently, I've been studying the morphogenetic field, which really sounds like it's in alignment with the what you're doing. And because it really does work on like what is your personal energy center and how to utilize it better. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. So I remember like most of your energy, don't disperse it to many things. Always prioritize your excitement above anything else. Even if it like makes no sense, you know, even if you're like, I don't know, seeing a client or you bike to see the client and your gut is like, you've got to go for like a walk instead of preparing for the meeting, go, because that walk you can have the most magical download. You don't know. Your mind doesn't know.
So just do it and figure it out as you go. I love that.
I mean, I don't know, figuring out, you don't want to figure things out. No.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like the understanding will come and it'll all just.
It will come if you do the work, if you practice it, if you live with it, you know, if you work with it. It's a tool, as I said, you know, I mean, this is like understanding, like this is the treadmill, this is how to push the button. And in the meantime, you want to get fit and you want to run a marathon, and reading the manual is not going to get you to running a marathon.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. So I mean, you know, if you want to go deeper, we can obviously do a session. It's, you know, it's entirely up to you, or just come tomorrow to tomorrow's talk, see how your gut feels about it. And then but I think it's an amazing tool.
That's awesome. I definitely will be there tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah, if you've got any more questions, yeah, let me know. I've got a couple of minutes. Anything else that jumps to you?
Okay, so I just keep getting like, what's the best way to like really start implementing? Just to follow that instinct of book the flight to Connecticut or go for the walk instead.
Start with
Okay.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Go with that, and if tomorrow, let's say you're working and you're feeling like you're pushing, where there is no excitement in writing the post or whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, I don't know how you structure your day, then just giving yourself that space to actually not doing that and working is like on what feels good, so start working on that energy, creating more energy within you. So it maybe go for a walk, it maybe do nothing, it maybe just sit in silence, whatever that might be for you. But I know as been doing social media marketing for so long, that when you push it, when you force the inspiration, it never works. And people feel it, people feel it.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. Like my mind is blown at like how aligned everything just kind of triggered for what I've been looking at emotionally on everything. So I'm definitely gonna have to check out your talk tomorrow and see how things go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
I do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.